live already?
Seems like it, yeah.
What?
Okay. Let's put it on the book here.
Yeah.
Just gonna wait for people to come join.
Okay.
Let's see.
We're supposed to start 3 minutes later.
That's right.
Okay.
That's the married life, baby. Okay, let's see. Okay, hopefully you can hear us. I'm just gonna put it on. Don't disturb. Alright, it should work. Let's see if everything's working correctly. And put this on quiet as well.
Okay. I'll take care of it.
This turn. However, I think we might have to set up something else. Alright. Let's see. Okay. So we're trying something new. Today we're gonna do it on our phone camera, which is a little bit better than my MacBooks. Hopefully you can hear as well. And so yeah, we have some big news. We're gonna wait a little bit for people to come in, but thank you. Yeah, actually the picture probably gave it away already. So yeah, we are now married. Happily married.
Yes.
Since last Friday.
Oh,
And
sorry.
please turn off the sound here on the
Sorry
side.
about that. Okay.
And put the quality lower.
Okay.
Yeah. And it has been some time since I last made a video and since we last made a video, so sorry about that, but the wedding was pretty much everything that was occupying our mind for a while now. And so that's why you haven't heard anything. And it was so amazing. It was one of the best days of our life, maybe the best one. And it was just incredible. So happy. And yeah, oh, here. Do we have a prenuptial agreement? First question. No, we don't have a prenuptial agreement. We don't feel the need for that. For me, like even if, I don't think we're ever gonna split up, but you know, just even if we would ever split up in 40 years or whatever, then I'd be happy if we like share everything 50-50. I don't mind. For me, that's not a problem. And like, we have no reason. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. And I get the point of prenuptial agreements, and I would say most of the time it's a good idea. For us, we didn't feel like it was necessary.
And we're planning to stay friends forever, whatever happens. So it's not like, okay.
Anyway,
sorry.
Thank you so much. We are
We're
very happy.
happy.
Very happy. And we might even show you some pictures afterwards. We're gonna try to see how that works with the camera if we flip that. And please let us know if the audio is not loud enough or anything. We're trying our best. Hopefully you can hear as well. And so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, from the beginning we set out to have like a minimalist wedding, and our initial plan was to invite 30 people. And we said, okay, we're each gonna invite maximum 6 friends and the rest family, because we have a big family she has her family from Hungary. I have my family from Austria and Italy as well.
Yeah.
And in the beginning we thought, okay, 30 people is gonna work out, but then, yeah, it turned out to... It escalated as everybody wanted to come see us. And so we still kept our friend limit, which said, okay, 6 friends each maximum, and the rest was family. And that wasn't as easy since, like, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I think we made the right choice. It was perfect this way. It's really nice. And yeah, it couldn't have been any better. And in the end, instead of 30 people, we actually had 45 at the wedding. And so since we were planning from the beginning to have first the wedding itself at the registry office to make it official, and then the wedding party at the house or the garden, and for that, instead of renting a separate place, we thought, hey, like my dad and my stepmom, they have this beautiful house and garden, and so we managed to have it there, and it was so amazing. And they really, like, they took care of a lot. And because in the beginning we thought, okay, everybody's just gonna bring their own food or something, and we're just gonna organize it and make it really simple. But then when we talked about it and thought about it, we decided to go for some catering, and that turned out to be a really great idea, since that way we were able to enjoy our wedding day the whole day and didn't have to worry about anything. It was perfect. And plus the price was really good. It was like for finger food and then warm food for the day, it was like €25 per person, which is really good. That's probably like $30 per person. And so I think for that it was amazing food. And yeah. Plus a lot of cake, a lot of paleo keto cakes, which is awesome. Because her family and her relatives in Hungary, a paleo diet is really popular and keto as well. And so while in Austria we have more people first turning to more of a vegan kind of diet when they face health problems or autoimmune issues, in Hungary it's more in a paleo direction, since they have so culturally we're not as likely to give up meat, and we really enjoyed it whenever we go there. And so it's really cool. Even in bakeries in Hungary, you always find some kind of
paleo option.
Paleo cookies, like almond flour cookies or coconut flour cookies, and even ice cream stores, gelaterias. They have some options that are sweetened with erythritol and
stevia.
Yeah, stevia, which is really cool, which we don't really find in Austria. Here they're more likely to use some kind of soy milk or something to kind of try to fix the issue, which is not the case. So yeah, and should we tell them about like how the day went and what we did?
Sure. Yeah. So, since we wanted a minimalist wedding, our idea was kind of not to, like I never have makeup on, and I don't really like to go to the hairdresser. Angela usually cuts my hair. So to make the day special, my best friends actually came over super early in the morning. And they did my hair and makeup, and they did a wonderful job, and it was just so nice that I got to spend some time with them before the wedding. Until then, Angela was eating some burger patties.
Wait a second, I'm going to show you a picture of her friends helping her out. I'm going to try to flip the camera, helping her out with getting ready with her makeup.
Yes.
So this was in our bathroom.
And those are two of my best friends, and they were just working on.
They're definitely more experienced than you with makeup, and they did your hair really amazingly well, because we were considering to go to a hairdresser to get that done. Yeah. But I think it was even more special that your friends were there and helping you with that, and they made it perfectly. Because with the hairdresser, even then, not only would you spend a lot of money, and we had to find somebody who was open early morning when we had our wedding.
But it just wouldn't have been that intimate.
You wouldn't have known how it turns out, and it wouldn't have been as intimate, so it was really cool. Just to add an extra little personal touch to it. It was really nice. Yeah. And meanwhile, while they were in the bathroom getting ready and doing makeup and stuff, I was like a friend of her best friend, Diego, was here, and I was making myself some burger patty for breakfast, and I was talking to him and eating that, and it was relaxing for me as well, since it was still our wedding day and I was nervous, and otherwise I would have freaked out probably in the meanwhile. So that was really cool.
Should we show some more pictures?
Sure. And then what we did, since we didn't want to sleep at separate places and the wedding was in the morning and we drove there together, we were planning to, we were thinking before, okay, she could change her clothes there at the registry office, but wouldn't have been as easy. Plus, and so it's okay. They found a really cool solution spontaneously, where I went down to wait at the car with this other friend, and actually it was her friend's father's Jaguar that they drove here. They borrowed from Budapest and drove us to the wedding with, and we were waiting in the car, and then I saw her the first time with her wedding dress when she was walking up to the car to me, and that was awesome. And I'm actually gonna show you some picture for that. Yeah. Okay.
Should I go just?
Yeah, let's go to the right. So here's when I first saw Sophie. I had to take a picture right away.
And those are my friends in the background walking behind.
We were both so nervous, so excited about the wedding. Yeah.
There's one more picture, right?
Yes, exactly. Plus, the car was an old school Jaguar, and so those are her two friends that drove us to the wedding.
Yeah.
And so you had to keep your head down the whole time.
Yeah, and so I also couldn't fasten my seatbelt, so please don't tell any police.
So she had to keep her head down. Yeah, the dress is really beautiful. I agree. And so yeah, that's how she had to drive there. It was a lot of fun. Okay, let's go back. And so yeah, then we arrived there, and let's see, it looks good.
It's not easy to do live streaming.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna hold it. I think it's easier.
Okay.
And yeah, then we arrived there just in time, like 15 minutes.
We were running late.
We were running late, but we still arrived 15 minutes early or something. So that was no problem, but that was the time we were supposed to arrive there. So everybody was waiting for us, and everybody wanted to be also the registry office to see the where we made the wedding official, since we don't have a church wedding, and didn't have a church wedding, and we are not as religious, so, but we believe in karma. We believe in doing good things, and good things come back to you, and treating people the right way and nicely. And there are moments when I do, I don't know, when I do catch myself, like praying to protect, for example, people that I care about, or like wishing somebody the best and stuff when they're not doing as well. But I wouldn't consider myself deeply religious, at least not in the typical classical sense of our church here, in the like Christian church, for example, which we have more presently, or Catholic church. But yeah, either way, that was a little sidetracked. Yes. Anyway, so yeah. So here another picture, and when we arrived there, she had a friend of hers take amazing pictures, which was also really cool. So we didn't hire an external photographer. She actually asked a friend of hers who really loves taking pictures and was really good at doing Instagram shots for her masters.
Yeah, for her masters.
And she was amazing. She was really cool. So she had a lot of personality, and it was a lot of fun just to have her there the whole time. Thank you. And here were 2 rings.
Yes.
And really simple titanium rings. And yeah, so this is how mine looks. It's a little bit thicker than hers. And she put hers on like underneath the engagement ring. And by the way, here in Austria, we wear them on the right side, which is something that I had to Google because I wasn't sure. Because I think in America, you wear your wedding ring on the left hand. And the engagement ring, first you wear it on the left, and then on the wedding day, it goes to the right after you put on the wedding ring. So that was stuff that we just had to figure out somehow. And yeah. And the wedding was really short there, but it was still really cool. So we got into it, we chose some really nice sounds, some really nice music for the wedding. And it was funny because like at these registry offices, the wedding itself, just the part of making it official from the state, etc., for documents, is really short. And the next one, like the next wedding was like half an hour after us, so we knew it wasn't gonna take long. But everybody was there. It was dressed nice, and so she just told us, told our names and like if we and that hereby, that if we want to marry each other, and I said yes. Thank God.
It was done in 10 minutes.
It was done in 10 minutes, which was really cool because we had more time to say, like, for all our family and our friends to congratulate us and to just hug everybody, give everybody a kiss and take some pictures. Yeah. Okay. So here's when I put my ring on Jofi's finger. And let's see the next picture. And yeah, here was I was with my best man, and she was with her maid of honor. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. We didn't always know exactly what to do in what moment, which was a lot of fun as well.
Okay, next.
But whenever we kissed, everybody kept clapping, so that's one thing we figured out.
Yeah. And this is already after the wedding, just a picture of our rings. And this is when we were practicing our wedding vows on the way to the actual wedding party in the garden.
Yeah.
And it went well afterwards, so it was worth the practice.
Yeah, we're just quickly checking out the ring, just to remember. And for the garden party then, it was nice. It's cute. I took a picture of that. All right, and so then we arrived at the garden house, and they surprised us. So my father and my stepmom, and they organized a little surprise game where, how's it called? This little shukkan.
I don't really know, but like the thing is, and Angela had to carry me up, and since they figured it would be a very long way to carry me, they used this kind of, I don't know how it's called. Wait a second. I'm gonna Google it.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the picture.
Yeah.
Probably gonna know it right away. So they prepared this beautiful little transportation device.
Is it a wheelbarrow?
It might be a wheelbarrow.
It says it's a wheelbarrow.
So they prepared a little wheelbarrow with a couple of pillows, so her dress wouldn't get dirty. Some pillows and a nice blanket.
Yes.
And that she sat. She sat in. The Jofi sat in, and I was supposed to push her up the hill, which is quite. It's not such a short. It's not a short ride, and it's quite steep. So that was a lot of fun, especially because it was a really hot day. And I was wearing my suit, which I don't often do. I don't often wear suits. I like tank tops. I like V-necks, t-shirts. I'm a simple guy. I don't like wearing shirts too much and suits when I don't have to. And we had really nice. So for the catering, we tried to get some options where we also had something that we could eat. Some more keto-like options. More keto-friendly options.
So that was, for example, some goat cheese.
Yeah,
with,
those were really amazing.
Zucchini.
Yeah, so goat cheese wraps with zucchini, and then we had on the left we had some melon with some prosciutto.
Which is typical
Italian. It was really tasty as well. And then we had some mozzarella and tomatoes, and we skipped the bread parts. That was just for the rest of the guests. Yeah. We didn't have that much of that anyway, because that when we were still a bit more. Like we still had to have our wedding vows. Still had our wedding vows and some other things, so we were still a bit nervous. Didn't eat as much yet. Didn't know what was coming. But the food was really great for us. It was perfect. Much better than expected. And
I think you can
we built a little tent. We actually borrowed a tent from
your sister's...
My sister's friend. He was really cool because he also speaks Hungarian.
Yeah.
And he speaks Hungarian, German, and English. And so he could kind of connect the Hungarians and the Germans, and he was translating some things. And so we built this tent the day before, and that was a really, really good idea. Even though it wasn't raining, if it would have rained, it would have been a lifesaver, and still it was protecting us from heat. And we had all the talks and all the so all the things were all the speeches underneath the tent. It was the perfect location for that. Oh, thank you very much, Brigitte. And thank you for all the congratulations. Really appreciate it. All right. And and here is this is another thing. This was a little minimalist touch that we actually bought this on AliExpress for I think $2 or something, which was really cool. Jofi actually did some research before. And you also bought the
veil.
Your wedding veil on AliExpress, which was really cool. And this was just a little paper thing, just married, which we attached to the tent, and it was a nice little touch. You don't have to spend a ton of money for these things if you just look around and prepare ahead. And here's the two of us. It was such a great day. Like when we look at the pictures, we have a ton of pictures, like probably 900 or 1,000 or more. Yeah. From start to finish, we were just so happy. It was, so great. Always puts a smile on our face. And this was our warm food that we had there. This is just one side. So on the left we had some chicken sticks with some veggies and rice and stuff in the background. Then for the guests, some schnitzel. So basically, some pork with some paneer with some flour stuff. Some potatoes, then some vegetable lasagna for my mom as well, who's vegetarian. For vegetarians. And then we don't have that here, but that's then we had some. Our option was some beef. No, that was beef.
It was beef. Yeah, sorry.
I think like it's called Tafelspitz. It's sort of like I don't know how to translate. So it's part of the beef that's cooked slowly in water, and it's really nice, like really soft and a little fatty as well. Really, really tasty. And I had that with green beans, and it was perfect for us. We definitely didn't starve. And this is a picture of the two of us with my two sisters. The left one is 19 years old, Dana, and the right one is just 16 years old. And they're both super tall. They're both 1 meter 80, which is crazy. The same height like me. And Ines, I don't know how she does it. On the right, she's always, every single picture, she has this model look right away without even trying, which is really impressive. And actually, like we're just so impressed by them as well, because like the way they're thinking, they have this beautiful mindset that's we can't believe that they're just 16 and 19 years old, where they don't care as much as well about like necessarily material things, and they're just so positive all the time. And like they also wrote us some beautiful messages. So they wrote some beautiful marriage advice and some a little card that was so beautiful. And actually, I think I'm gonna translate the card that Ines wrote, because I was so impressed. She wrote it in German, but she's just 16 years old, and I'm so proud of her that I have to share this. Can you have this 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
So she wrote, my 16-year-old sister wrote, after all, so I'm trying to translate, so please don't judge too much, too harshly. Dear Angela and Zsofia, after all this time, your smiles for each other haven't decreased, haven't become less. I love being with you, since you show me in front of my eyes what I also would like to have in the future. Every time when you look at each other, your eyes sparkle. You look at each other as if you would just be on your first date, and you just realize how well it's going. Maybe it's really true that every human has a second half, and we had the luck to find ours. We're all incredibly happy that we have the two of you in our life. You have an incredible adventure in front of you, and you can always count on your family. We'll always support you and stand behind you. All the luck of the world. Yeah. That's so sweet. She's just 16. I'm just so proud. Anyway. So, sorry for all of you who are just waiting for some keto tips and keto Q&A. We just felt like sharing this because it's had a really big impact in our life just now, and maybe it's interesting to somebody. I know some are interested. And yeah. Anyway, and yeah.
Back to the pictures.
Back to the pictures. We're almost done.
So this is my favorite one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite pictures as well. And yeah, your dress was really, really beautiful. Really awesome.
Okay.
Definitely worth it.
Just stay there.
Okay. And yeah, here I was with my friends. We picked up Jofi for a nice picture. That's one of my favorites. Me in the middle, next to a friend of mine who looks similar to me, but more beard. Yeah, it was an amazing day.
Sorry.
And this is a paleo cake that my aunt made without even knowing.
Yeah.
So the only non-paleo part was the cover. That was sugar and marzipan.
Yeah.
But she used some xylitol as sweetener, which is not as good as erythritol, so it spikes your blood sugar. But either way, it was her wedding, and the inside was really good. It was with heavy cream, chocolate, and almond flour.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was really, really good. And she spent a lot of time preparing that.
3 days.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
This is when we were cutting the cake, and then when we found out that there's a saying that the person who has their hand on top has the power in the relationship or something.
Exactly. And
when
that was me.
And she had the hand on top. As soon as they said that, I did a little switcheroo and I put my hand on top. And that's why we're laughing there. But yeah. And this was an amazing paleo cake, paleo keto cake from Hungary.
Yeah.
And that there's a specialized bakery in Hungary that makes amazing cakes that her family brought it from. It was with some raspberries and some vanilla cream made with some coconut milk and stuff, and chocolate cream. It was really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a ton of great cake options there. And so yeah.
This is the last picture.
This picture? All right. Okay, so anything else do you want to add for the wedding? And her friends organized a ton of fun games, which are really, really cool. There were some games where she was standing on top of the balcony in the house, and I had to jump through a couple of hoops to get her and do some challenges to get to my wife, which I will never get bored of saying, which is super awesome. And for example, first of all, I had to do some push-ups, which was the easiest part, which was no problem. I would have rather preferred doing 100 push-ups than some other things that I had to do.
Dancing with the youngest guest.
So dancing with the youngest guest, that was also fun, and in front of all people. I had to find the youngest guest, and I picked her up. We were dancing a little bit. It was really cute. And then they were telling me, okay, now you have to do either a Macarena or chicken dance or another kind of dance, and where you need some choreography. And I haven't done these in so long that I remember, like, the last time I did a Macarena was like 8 years ago, probably something, and I was always copying somebody else. So it was really, while I was ridiculing myself, who helped me again? Anastasia, our photographer.
Yeah.
She was so kind to show me the moves again, and then I was able to pass after that and continue on to the next. And I was sharing a drink with your father, which is fun. And then I had to have actually some shots on top.
Yeah.
I tried not to drink much because I don't like drinking usually. I just drink water. But it was our wedding, and so I had those shots. And then I got to you. I was like, that's awesome. So yeah. Anyway, so if you have any questions about the wedding, about keto, about carnivore, anything, now is the time where I would be happy to help you out. If there's anything that's that you need some help with, or anything that you would like to share. Actually, I'm gonna try to see if we can make the comments more visible here.
Mm-hmm.
Just decrease the quality a little bit here, and all right, let's see. Can you check through some and see if there's something that we...
So mostly it's congrats, and thank you guys
so much
for that.
Really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, until we get to the comments, I'm gonna... 1 second. I recently made some beef tallow for the first time, which was really cool. At least I get excited about this stuff. Might be super weird for some other people. I found out that I could get some beef suet, some grass-fed beef suet for really cheap, for €2 per kilogram, and then I just chopped it up into small pieces and put it into a slow cooker for like 6 hours on high, and then it separated into some crispy parts, the parts where it was still meat on it, and then the tallow, which, wait, I'm gonna show you here, which looks like this. And this is the finished beef tallow, which is super awesome. I just put it in this little coconut oil jar. And I love cooking with this because it's really heat resistant. And you can cook at really high temperatures without any problems whatsoever. So you should definitely, if you never made beef tallow, or you're looking to add some more fat sources, and you can often really get some grass-fed beef suet or beef tallow for super cheap, as most people won't, as the butchers are happy to give that away, sometimes even for free. And so yeah, that has been one of my discoveries, because cooking with this, also making beef patties or steak or something like that, gets extra crispy and it doesn't burn, which is really nice, because we usually otherwise use butter, or when we make some fish, sometimes some coconut oil. But yeah, this has been a nice discovery. And so yeah, let's see.
So no questions, just...
All right. Shit. Oh, sorry.
Just congratulations, or people...
So let's see. I can see my finger, it's not the best. Okay. Nice. Some Hungarians here.
Mm-hmm.
Honeymoon where to? So we haven't planned anything
Thailand.
right away for honeymoon. Yes, we're gonna go back to Thailand. We already know for sure in February we want to spend 1 month in Thailand and maybe Laos, Vietnam. And that's already, we just have to book the tickets for that, but that's pretty much for sure already. That's why we didn't feel the need to have something right away right now, because we're quite happy now after all of this just to get back to doing a little bit of work, and we're gonna do some smaller trips in between. And on Friday we had our wedding. We have several parties still. On Friday we had our wedding, and on Sunday we had another wedding party with my stepmom's family, which was really cool as well. And so we dressed up again there, just so they don't feel like they were missing out as well, and to share that with them as well. And it was really, really cool. And now we're gonna have 3 more wedding celebrations in Budapest. And so starting on Saturday we're gonna have one, then on Sunday we're gonna have another one, and then a week after another one on Sunday. So, but I'm really looking forward to that. It's really cool. Like, it felt so amazing that everybody was just there to celebrate us, and it was like our day. It was, as egoistic as that sounds, it was a really nice feeling, and everybody was so positive and getting along. People from Hungary, from Italy, from Austria, speaking different languages. Like my mom, who's half Italian and doesn't speak a word of Hungarian, was somehow communicating with her grandma, who only speaks Hungarian, and she told me she's so intelligent. So I have no idea how they talked. It was really cute.
But
they managed somehow. Okay,
so someone told us to check out Bangkok.
Yes, we have been in Bangkok in February. It was super cool. We went to Chiang Mai, to Bangkok, and to Koh Tao. This year in February. And that's why we also feel like going back, because we enjoyed it so much. And our favorite was Chiang Mai. And after that, Bangkok, actually, we found out that we don't need the sea quite as much. We don't need to be at the beach. And it was a little bit more stressful there as well. We just, I don't know, maybe we're just city-ish people. Like, we enjoy having calm, like not too much action around us, and also being in nature. But somehow, touristy beaches are not our thing. And I'm sure there are more remote beaches, but just getting there and stuff, it's just not worth it for us that much, since we don't get as much enjoyment out of being at the beach.
But Bangkok was beautiful. So
Bangkok was super awesome, especially discovering these endless, amazing markets with so much tasty food, a lot of coconut stuff, and really delicious, exotic fruits. Yeah, that was good times.
That wasn't that much.
It's gonna be interesting. Next time we do it again.
Okay, and someone asked about carnivore style keto.
What's the question?
So, love to both of you. You are a sweet couple. Well, thank you. You're like perfect couple. I want to get super shredded doing keto, but stall for so long. It is good to do carnivore style keto? ?
You wanna get super shredded doing keto, but you stall so long. So you could definitely try it out So for us it was interesting, because we were just planning to try it out for a week, just to see if we like challenging myths that we believe in. I thought, I might get a headache or something if I don't eat veggies for 2 days or something. And we thought, okay, we're probably gonna miss the vegetables. And then after a week, we felt so great, and we felt like we enjoyed what we were eating so much that we felt, okay, actually, do we need to buy spinach? Like, I'm not missing it right now, and broccoli and stuff. It's just all this extra preparation, extra steps. It made everything so much easier, and we really, really enjoyed it. Plus, you've never felt as lean as when you're doing carnivore.
For me, I'm really happy that we discovered carnivore at the time we did. Because if you want, you can show the wedding picture again. Because, I've never been so lean in my life as I was at the wedding, and that's thanks to...
That was after not even, you were a little bit sickish before the wedding?
Yeah, so right before the wedding, I wasn't feeling that great. I got a cold at my bachelorette party, and I was probably... I was stressed out because of the wedding, and it probably didn't help my health. But other than that, I couldn't have felt any leaner, and I'm right now we have thousands of wedding pictures, and in all pictures I feel like the prettiest bride ever. And so for me it was the perfect time for discovering carnivore, because it really helped me to be in the best shape I would like to be in. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be carnivore forever, because I do like my veggies. I do like to add some variation. I do like to experiment. I love baking and I like sweets, and I don't want that to be a regular thing in our household. But for birthday parties or something, I would really like
on the
to
weekend
keep this So.
Exactly. But
that can really help.
It was still interesting to notice a difference when you don't have those almond flour, coconut flour cookies, that you feel even leaner, and you're just never. Usually, you're also on keto. You have a flat belly, so you're not really bloated.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you eat a little bit too much fiber, or you have all these things with coconut, almond flour, etc., you might feel a little bit more bloated or a little tiny bit more gassy than usual if you don't eat these. And it's still nice to just never have that. So yeah, that's why I'm not missing it as much. But when there's a special occasion, we still enjoy making some chocolate chip cookies or something like that. Yeah, it's always fun. And yeah, so there's so many different ways of doing keto. You don't have to do carnivore. Like, if what you're doing right now is working for you and you enjoy it, then go for it. It's no problem. We just really love experimenting and challenging beliefs. For example, we didn't think that without having fiber, the digestion would be even better. And that's been the case. It is, and I'm feeling great. And I actually, personally, I feel more energy at the gym since doing more of a carnivore approach, because I think it was because before I was eating probably between 70 and 90 grams of protein per day on average. And now I feel more motivated to work out. I feel like I can push myself more, and I've been able to break more of my own kind of records, and I've been really enjoying that. So I'm more motivated again. That's why I also we're working out 2-3 times a week now instead of just once a week the last 3 years, which was just good for maintenance. But I don't know, I'm kind of just enjoying it more now, and might be some co-founding variables there, but still. And I'm sure if you just do keto and if you just increase your protein intake, it's also should also work out. But this is just the easiest. Also, cooking and shopping and cooking is just so easy. It's really cool. Actually gonna. And anything that's new for you?
No, I said everything. I think so.
Yeah.
If not, I'm gonna comment something
But
the video.
You can definitely look forward to some more videos now from me and from us. And by the way, thank you a lot for the congratulations. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Thank you very much, Jerome. Thank you, Todd, as well. I have to be honest, it wasn't as easy for me. Also we always want to be honest with you, right? So we have this awesome keto community in this keto channel. And since the beginning, we're promoting a lot of green leafy vegetables next to the meat or fish and eggs and stuff. And now we're not eating as many of them, and we're feeling great, just looking more into zero carbon carnivore. And it's still a ketogenic diet, because that's when we feel our best, when we're burning fat for energy. That's when you can go long periods of time without food. But just leaving out that fiber part was, a nice revelation for us that we would have never guessed before.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard for me, because I felt like, because it contradicts some things that I've said in the past. But I feel you should always be honest and always share exactly what you're doing, and never be afraid of some consequences. Might lose some subscribers and stuff. We probably lost some when doing some carnivore full day of eating videos, probably lost some vegan subscribers as well, which is okay, which I'm okay with. If that's not what you're interested in, that's totally fine. We're not here.
If it doesn't serve you anymore, this channel, what we share, then it's totally fine.
That's perfectly fine. And to be honest, I don't want to share anything that I don't believe in, just to gain some new subscribers or more views or anything like that. That would defeat the purpose of why we're doing this. And we don't want to promote veganism, for example, because we don't believe it's the healthiest option. But if you're doing it and you're feeling great, then go ahead, go for it. But in our opinion, it's not a healthy way of living, because there are many things that you're missing out on, and there are many stories of people that after a couple of years, even if you just look at long-term vegans online and you look at some videos, you see the difference. You see they age faster, they can think as clearly, or they look super thin and have frail bones, or they lose their teeth, and it's some things that are pretty shocking. I noticed that fiber doesn't work for me. It makes me feel so weird, and I just can't eat it. So I thought maybe I can try and eat it. Yeah, you can definitely try and eating it. So fiber is not essential. It's indigestible usually. So fiber you won't win any awards at the end of your life for having the biggest crabs or something like this. So like if you're eating something and then like if you have bowel movements more often, so something that also surprised me when I talk to people who are vegetarian or vegan, and they tell me that they have bowel movements like 3 times a day or something like this, and for them it's normal, and that's not a normal thing. It just means that pretty much everything you're eating is going back out because you can't utilize most of it. And even the nutrients in a lot of plants and a lot of fibrous plants, they might be there in a vacuum if you're analyzing the plant to say, okay, they have these antioxidants and they have these vitamins and minerals, etc., and protein. And a lot of the protein is just actually just an approximation because they can't exactly calculate protein. It doesn't have the amino acids that you would have in animal products, for example. And so when you eat those plants, they have oftentimes a lot of anti-nutrients that cause you to not be able to absorb even the nutrients in the plants, but even sometimes nutrients in the other food that you're eating. So there was a really interesting study actually. I know you probably won't be eating corn products or something on keto, but I'm just saying, for example, where they had this study and they were eating, I think, some shellfish or something like this. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but they showed that, from shellfish they would normally, it has some, no, it wasn't shellfish, some oysters. Okay, oysters had some zinc and some iron, and if you just eat the oysters, you're gonna absorb pretty much all of it, what is in there. If you eat them with a corn tortilla, so with some corn, you pretty much absorb none of the iron and the zinc in the oysters because of the anti-nutrients in the corn. So I would really look into that. You have phytates, you have oxalates, and just the natural ways that plants want to protect themselves. Also because they are not, like, as stupid as it sounds, plants do not want to be eaten. And they have their own chemical processes to protect themselves from predators. And they've been evolving for millions and millions of years. And there are some plants that we have, like 99% of the plants in the world you can't eat, and they're toxic for you. And some of them we have bred to be more juicy or more edible, but still, like, just look into it. I wouldn't just brush it off like, oh, just because we heard that vegetables are for generations we've heard that you need vegetables, you need to eat your fruits and vegetables, etc. I wouldn't just take it like that. Take it with a grain of salt, do your own research, and when you do your own research, you're gonna find out, okay, there's not a single study showing that plants or actually fiber is beneficial, except in a context of comparing eating more vegetables or something and more fiber compared to just a kind of Western style diet where you're eating a lot of processed carbohydrates, especially. And if you replace those processed carbohydrates with some fibrous vegetables or some more, I don't know, maybe whole grain options even or whatever, probably gonna have a better result on blood sugar, etc., etc. But still, it's not, So there's not a single study like comparing what if you didn't eat fiber completely, and then because if you're eating junk and then you're eating some junk plus a little bit more fiber and some vegetables, they're gonna be beneficial because you're replacing some of that junk with better options, but they're not the end all be all. And there's a really interesting study as well where people with constipations and gut issues, where they put them on, they had one group that was eating high fiber. They had serious constipation issues and digestive issues. They even had blood in their stools and stuff, and like they could only go every, 8 days or something to the bathroom. And the people who kept eating high fiber, none of their symptoms got better after a couple of weeks. And some people who reduced their fiber got a little bit better. And then there was a no fiber group, a zero fiber group, and all their symptoms disappeared. And they were also the only group after 6 months when they asked them like what they were doing, that stuck to their regimen. They stuck to eating less fiber because they just got rid of their symptoms completely. And that's really interesting. There's actually a talk, I think, on Low Carb Down Under about this topic, about fiber in vegetables, and if fiber is necessary, etc. I would definitely check that out. It's super interesting, really cool. And so that's that. And do we have anything else? Fiber doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, just can't eat it, so it taught me. Yeah, okay. So that was what we just answered. So yeah, just give it a shot. Like there are a lot of people who are doing well on a zero carb and carnivore diet, and yeah, I would still stick to depending on your goal. So it depends if you've been doing keto for a while, then either way, like if you want to try a zero fiber or a zero carb diet or carnivore, then just you have to go through. You might have some symptoms, probably, especially with digestion. You have to get used to that, and that's completely normal. If the first couple of days or potentially even the first 2 weeks, your digestion is still a little bit off, but it's gonna get better with time. Just give it some time, and it's definitely worth it. It's interesting. Even the founder of Perfect Keto, which is the only company who we support, like the only we never sell anything that we don't like or we don't use ourselves, and their collagen is something that we really enjoy, and that is good ingredients as well, and that's the only thing that we mentioned here and there. But like even their founder, who's selling keto products, did a carnivore diet experiment and had been doing keto for a long time. The founder is a doctor as well, and he said that he has never, like, keto was a huge step up for him. He felt amazing and really good. But carnivore for him, when he tried it for like, I think 5 weeks or so, was another step up for him. So he said like after 6 or 7 days, first 6 or 7 days, he didn't feel as good, but afterwards he felt amazing, like even better than on keto, which is interesting. And I think that's really cool that when people can be as honest, even though it's might not be in their best business interest to say that. Yeah, that's Dr. Anthony Gustin. And he also has a keto podcast. I think it's called Keto Answers Podcast, which is really cool as well. Yeah. Anyway, so what do you think? Are you getting tired? Should we get to sleep soon? So yeah, here it's yeah, before. We're gonna have a nice evening, do a little bit of reading, relax, enjoy the married life. Exactly. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video still, just sharing these things with you, even like maybe not as helpful if you're just looking for keto advice, but I'm gonna do more of that in the near future, now that we got married and that was all over our mind. And yeah, we hope you still enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, and yeah, see you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.